Alright. Done with the test. Then tomorrow, Amy got today and she had to take some vacation days or she was going to lose them. So, I got my wife the next 4 days. I just finished that breathing test. You gotta do all these different blowing into this thing on this machine, but it's weird how things work out. This lady up here, I was supposed to be here today. We spent longer talking than I did on the test. She just lost her husband of 43 years. I was talking about Amy like I always do, and she started talking about her husband, and we had a really good conversation. She made doing the test easier for me as far as I dread doing that test. It just breaks me down every time I do it. She's got 4 children, and one of them became a pastor, a minister. And we got on the subject of mothers. I told her how I truly believe, fathers, we all love our children. But I truly believe, at least my experience in my life, the only thing stronger than a mother's love for her child is God's. If a mother's right in the head and she's not strung out or something, I really believe that if mom and dad go their separate ways, it's always best for a child to have a loving mother and father in the relationship. But if that can't be, I truly believe with all my heart that it's better for the child to be with the mother, because I believe what the mother is the loving, nurturing, compassionate part of the equation, or she typically is. And I believe that's more important, that a young child gets that than what the father brings. But statistically, a child's odds of success are best when they have both a loving and nurturing mother and father. But sometimes, a lot nowadays in our society, moms and dads go different ways. But I was talking to her about my mom, because the way she was talking about her husband and her children, she was reminding me a lot of Amy when she said over 40 something years they were married, 43, and she just lost him. I had tears rolling down my cheeks, because when I try to imagine my life without Amy in it, I can't. It's a very dark place. And they were married damn near double what me and Amy have been married. We've been married 28. They had 43 years, and my heart broke for that woman. And then her being a mother and everything, I was telling her about that poem I wrote for my mother, that Mama Bear, and I showed her a picture of it, and I told her, I said, I wish there was some way I could get it to you through email or something. She said, I've got an email. I said, oh, no, ma'am. I don't want your email. it's not good to hand stuff like that out. I said, me and my wife will get it printed out at Office Max or Kinko's or something. I've got it on PDF. And her name's Gail. And I know right where she's at. She works there in that office with that machine and other lung stuff there. She's a very kind lady. Her faith in God, and she's a very strong woman. And I see a lot of my mother in her. I see a lot of Amy in her. And I told her I'm going to bring that up to her. Her name's Gail. So I'll just bring it up, and if she's not working, I'll say, this is for Gail. And I'll leave it with whoever's up there. But she was very kind. We had a wonderful conversation. And she was laughing, I was laughing. And we were talking about God and what He's done for us in our lives. And I could feel how bad she's hurting, with her husband gone and all. When you're with somebody 43 years like that, they become a part of you. I know me and Amy, we've only been together 28 years. And it's like, the way things are looking, I'll go before Amy, but I always said that if she went first, and I mean this, I would not date anybody. I wouldn't. Because for one main reason, it wouldn't be fair to whoever I was dating, because I would always be comparing them to Amy. And they would never be Amy. They would never be good enough. And that's not fair to do to somebody. If you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, whether it's friends, parent, child, you go all in. 100% all in. And I couldn't do that with another woman because I've already given my heart to Amy. And I know me. I would be missing my wife so much that I would be looking for my wife in anything that woman did. And she would never be Amy. And she would never be good enough for me. And I just think that's a horrible thing to do to somebody. You got somebody trying to give a relationship their all, but they're never going to be the person you're in love with. So it's just, it would be wrong. I would be wasting somebody's time. Not that I'd have much to worry about. I'm no spring chicken. I sure ain't. Don't look nothing like the man I used to, but but no, it really made my day talking to that gal today. She's a little older than me, but she talked about her children and her husband and her father, and I talked about my childhood a lot. My mother, it was just a wonderful conversation, and it's kind of neat. Two strangers don't even know each other can meet in the doctor's office. She's the one giving me the test at that pulmonary test, and I hate that test. I never look forward to it. I'm always not happy about having to do it. But that's what my wife wants me to do, so that's what I do. But it's just neat that two strangers can meet like that and have such a wonderful conversation. And for a little bit of, 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it was, we were laughing, and I did some crying, and she did some crying, and it was beautiful. It's really beautiful. I didn't know her for today. She didn't know me, and we had a real heart-to-heart, honest, real conversation. And she reminds me a lot of my mother. She's definitely a mama bear. So I told her I'd get a copy of that and bring that up there for her. I said, I'm not good for much, but I'm good for my word. So I'll take that up there to her. And I mean, it's nothing. It's not like I'm giving her a gold bar or anything, but I know when my stepfather put that mama bear, I had forgotten all about it. The best piece of art I ever did in my life. They used to have these old calendars. It was on D-size paper. They were big calendars that fit in this little holder, and they would be on office desks and stuff. Real big D-size sheet of paper, but we were on lockdown when I was in prison. And this is after I got transferred out of the max finally down to a medium. And the guard was going by, and I didn't have a cellie at that time. I was going kind of stir crazy in there by myself. He was going by. I said, "Hey, sir." He looked at me. I said, "Can you buy me a piece of paper I can draw on?" I was put on Ritalin at 3 years old, and I draw all the time. I was always coloring when I was a kid and drawing. I had well over 100 hours in this piece of art I did. And I sent it to my dad to give to my ex-wife. We were still married at the time. And he said, screw her, she'll lose it, I'm keeping it. It's the only piece of art I ever did in my life that I was 100% happy with. Probably the best piece of art I ever did. And I've done a lot. Because my grandma, every picture I'd color, "Oh, this is the most beautiful one you'd ever done." And she'd take the one down before that and put that one up every time. But about 4 months before me and my dad quit talking, I asked him if he still had that drawing. He didn't have a clue where it was. The poem, that Mama Bear poem that I'm going to take up for Gail, I've given to some other people too that I've met on YouTube, some ladies. And I know my mother would be fine with me doing that. But I had forgotten all about drawing the roses, everything on there, writing that poem, that Mama Bear poem. And when my mother died of pancreatic cancer, after the church service, my stepfather come up to me and he handed me an envelope. And he said, "Your mother, he said, this was precious to your mother. She kept this in the top drawer of her bedside table till the day she died, from the day that you gave it to her." And I'm thinking, what the hell is this, And I opened up that envelope, and I've got the original hanging on the wall in a frame at home. That's my wife's and will someday be my daughter's. But for me, that's the difference between a mother and father in my life. My father, one of the hardest working men I ever met. He never missed child support. And the man's due a certain amount of respect for that. But, yeah, he said, "Screw her, I'm keeping it, she'll lose it." And he lost it. And it's the best piece of art I ever put out in my life. I had guys offer me a lot of commissary for that in jail. But And then the poem I wrote for my mother called Mama Bear that I had completely forgot about. My mother cherished it. But I'm going to get that printed out and I'm going to take it up there for Gail. Because she was a very kind person. She's a good mother. She made my experience up there a lot more pleasant and actually enjoyable. We were talking about God, my Amy, my kids, her husband. So what I was dreading turned into a good thing, and two strangers for a brief moment in time were a positive impact on each other's lives for a minute. But that's that. But I'm going to get in here. The battery's dying in this phone.